Okay guys, we're going to start at the top of our mat. All we need for this today is hopefully a wall, and if you don't have a wall, just something to hold on to, maybe a chair. You can do it sort of without anything to hold on to, but it's handy to have a little bit of balance for some standing work. So we're going to start at the top of our mat, back of our mat, nice and tall, and just start to give your shoulders a nice roll up, back and down. Breathing in through the nose and breathing out. Let your arms just dangle by your side. Knees might go slightly soft. And then just start to think about, as we breathe in through the nose, feel your belly fill. So inhale, and the belly expands. Then as you exhale, you want to feel the belly come in, close, and almost like you're hugging the baby with your belly, your ribs, your muscles, gently. So breathing in, belly expands, breathing out, hugging it in. Do that a few more times. So breathing in, hands on belly can be nice and helpful. And then exhale, breathing out. So one more exaggerated breath. Inhale, exhale, hug the baby. Okay. And then from there, just let everything go a little bit more relaxed. Start to tuck your chin towards your chest. Arms dangle by your side, knees are soft, and we're going to just roll down through the spine. So breathing in, letting the head, the neck, the shoulders go heavy. The feet can be wider if the bump is in the way. And then just let your head have a little hang at the bottom. Just start to let your shoulders have a little sway, your head, your neck, your upper back. And then just hold in your deepest fold. Doesn't need to be straight legs just yet. Eyes look in between the legs, so you're fully letting that head and neck go. And then start to breathe out, push through the feet, and like a ragdoll, you want to slowly begin to restack the spine. So lower back rebuilds, middle back rebuilds, and then you're all the way up to the top. Give the shoulders a roll. Okay, at the top here, take a big breath in, blow out the belly. Through the nose, tuck the chin, breathe out, roll down. Soft knees, heavy head. Feel a stretch through the back of the neck, feel a stretch through the back of the hamstrings. And then maybe the hands get a little bit closer to the floor this time. Always remember, don't force anything today, but don't force this fold. Try to go somewhere that's comfortable for the belly, the bump, the pelvis, the hips, everything. Maybe the legs straighten a little bit, and then we're going to exhale, slowly rebuild. Push through the feet like a rag doll with the upper body. Just slowly restack that spine. Okay. At the top, shoulders roll. Big breath in through the nose, belly fills. Exhale, tuck the chin. Final roll down, all the way into that lovely little dead hang ragdoll position. You might want to give your head a sway, your arms a sway, maybe straighten those legs and bend the legs a little bit, get a bit of life into the hamstrings on the back of the body. And then from there, just start to soften your knees a lot more. Walk your hands out and lower the knees down until you're in a 4-point position. So what I want you to do is just untuck the toes, and knees are under hips and shoulders are above wrists. Eyes always look a little bit forward of your hand, so top of the mat probably, depending on where you are. And then all I want you to do is let your spine stay pretty straight. So you might need to actually actively do that. If the belly, or as the belly gets bigger, your belly is going to be drawn down and the back is going to be drawn into a dip. So start to flatten the back slightly, and then relax the tummy muscles. Start to breathe in, same thing, belly fills up. And then exhale. Hug the baby, empty the belly. So have a wee look at your tummy, breathe in, let it fill. And then exhale, slowly, softly. Shrink the tummy, like you're trying to hide the bump. Breathing in, and then breathing out. A few more like this. Make sure that as we breathe in, we're not letting the spine extend, and as we breathe out, we're not rounding, not a cat-cow yet. Keep the spine nice and straight. Breathe in. Belly drops, belly fills, breathe out. Hug the baby, belly, back doesn't change shape. One more. Breathe out. Okay. Then holding the spine starting to let the spine move a little bit. We're going to breathe in this time, let the belly fall. Eyes look up, bum sticks up to the ceiling. Go easy on these first few, just letting the back of your ponytail, if you had one, come towards your tailbone. So breathing in, look up, stick your bum out, stick your bum out. Breathe out, start to tuck your chin, tuck your tailbone, squeeze your butt cheeks and look to the bump. Breathe in. Belly falls, bum sticks up, eyes look up, shoulder blades draw down, inhale, inhale, and then exhale gently. Tuck the chin, tuck the tailbone, squeeze the bum, very much your own range on this, inhale. As the bump grows and as you go through the pregnancy, this will get a little bit smaller, and you don't want to feel like you're ripping through the front of those tummy muscles. You want to be nice and gentle there as they get tight. And then breathe out final time. Squeeze the bum. Okay, find the flat back. We're still shoulders over wrists and knees under hips. If the wrists have any issues, just come down onto your forearms for this, elbows under shoulders. But if we can, stay on the hands. We're going to tuck the toes and we're going to just keep that spine straight now. So active, I want you to push through the hands. Not so much that we're rounding the shoulders, but just enough that you are drawing your shoulder blades down your back, eyes look ahead of the fingers. And then as we breathe out, I want you to empty the belly and hover the knees, not too high a hover for 3, 2, 1. Inhale, set the knees down, belly fills. Exhale. Hug the belly and hover the knees. 3, 2, 1. Inhale, set the knees down. Okay, belly fills. Have a look to the belly if you need to. Exhale to lift. Okay. Now, if you can hover for a bit longer, maybe you're not as far on in the pregnancy, maybe it feels good, do that for longer. If you know that it's a lot of load and you even feel like your tummy is doming, in other words, like a cone shape through your belly, then definitely just do a really, really focused exhale on hugging the belly in and a teeny hover just for a few seconds. Set it down again. So it's completely down to you. We're going to breathe in and then we're going to breathe out. Lift and hold. Okay, you've got one more. That could be 2 seconds long. It could be 20 seconds long. Inhaling and exhaling when you're up in that hover if you're there for a longer time. Now, final one, everyone's going to breathe out and hover. Hold the hover for 3, 2, now this time push into a downward dog, heels towards the floor and chest towards your thighs. Now, legs don't need to be straight, feet can be wider to just facilitate, again, space through the pelvis, the bump. And then you just want to make sure you're trying to draw your breastbone through your legs. So you're trying to pull your chest towards your thighs. Remember that we've got a lot of relaxin pumping through the body, so the shoulders, the joints, the muscles a little bit more lax and then can be a little bit more vulnerable because of that. So try not to push to extremes whenever we're doing things. Just hold in a nice and active position here. Okay, now the calves and the hamstrings get a little stretch. I want you to breathe in. Then as you breathe out, come into your hover, bend the knees. Knees come just above the floor. And then we're going to inhale, downward dog. Now this can be active, down and up, back into downward dog, or this can be really slow. So you can do 3 reps for every 1 rep I do, or you can slow it down even more than that. So it's totally dependent on how you're feeling today, what stage you are at, and just listening to your body. So it's an exhale to come into your hover, tightening the tummy gently, and an inhale, downward dog. Enjoy the rest. Exhale, hover, inhale, downward dog. Okay, feel those shoulders heat up as well. Arms are working hard. If you were on your forearms, probably better we come onto the hands now if you're doing this downward dog option, or just stay in the hovers and stay on the forearms. Final 2. Okay, last one. We're going to find that hover. You're going to hold the hover. We're going to tighten that belly gently for 3. Have a look. Lovely for 2. And then 1 downward dog. And we're going to pedal it out. So 1 knee bends as the other heel presses down towards the mat. And exhale, switch. Heel towards the mat, chest towards the thighs as the other knee bends. Let's go for a few more. Walking it out. Okay, and then from there, just pop both heels to press down towards the mat. And we're gonna roll down onto our knees, and we're gonna come into a lovely side lying position. So I want you to come onto your right side. So you are gonna lie onto your right side. Come onto your forearm for a second. If you need a little cushion, little pillow for under the bump, if it's bigger, or for your head, do that, or a block for your head. What I want you to do is have your legs in a right angle. So your shins are running in parallel to the front edge of your mat, and your knees are pretty much just beneath the line of your hips. It's not a perfect right angle, just a little bit lower than that. Then we're going to lie onto our armpit. So I like to go on my armpit and bring my right hand on under my head. Then I'm going to make sure I'm not just relaxing my right rib cage down into the mat. I'm almost actively drawing a little inch away from it. Now I will be on the floor, but you feel like you're lifting, so you're active through the right side of your body. Okay, left hand on hip. You can just let this right arm go long and your right head, or your right side of your head, just relax on your bicep. Hover the left leg up into just that little right angle at hip height. Then we're going to keep that left hand on the hip, and I want you to feel like you're pulling your left hip bone down away from your left armpit, and that should lengthen and lift the underneath right hand side of your waist. Okay, now the left toes are flexing to the knee, the leg is active, and we're going to open into a little clam. So think 45 degrees. We're going to shine up kneecap and left toes, shining up 45 degrees to the ceiling, and then inhale, just lower to hip height. So flexing my toes, leg is active, exhale, open. 45, have a look at the leg, inhale to lower. Okay, now once you think you've got what you're doing, we're not moving through the hips. So if your butt cheeks here were against a wall, you would not be rolling back into the wall as you open and coming away from it as you lower. You're just keeping that constant pressure with the very base of your spine against that wall. Okay, now let that right arm go long, eyes look forward, so you're nice and lengthened and aligned through your spine. And as I'm opening up through that clam, I want to actually imagine that I'm pushing against something at the top that is trying not to let me open the clam. So it's not about how wide I go here, but I'm going to choose a point where I'm not going to open anymore, and I'm going to imagine I'm pushing against something that does not want me to go any higher. Breathing in to lower to hip height. Okay, final 3. Squeeze, hold, make that mind-muscle connection. You want to really activate, draw the toes to the knee, activate through that left side of your leg. Inhale to lower to hip height, never rest. Okay, 2 more. And then, next one, I want you to hold your leg up in that clam. Have a little look, and then I want you to make sure you're keeping this leg active. So I'm flexing, I'm active, I'm squeezing. If I'd set my leg go limp here and do some stuff, you feel nothing. Your whole body needs to be active and working. I want you to start to go for turn your left knee down to your right knee, but keep that left foot kicking up, up, up high. So I'm going to try to get you to keep your left foot exactly where it is, pretty much. Then I want you to open your left knee up to the ceiling, squeeze through the bum. So left foot stays still, knee is going to come down towards your right knee. Try to turn your kneecap down towards the floor, and then we're going to turn the left kneecap up to the ceiling. So what you should feel is this left thigh bone turning and spinning in the hip socket. So I want you to imagine that. Turn the thigh bone up, 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 up to the ceiling, squeeze and hold. And then rotate that kneecap down, rotate that thigh bone down, 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 and you're really actively holding that leg. If you do this passively, if you do really any Pilates passively, you're not going to feel much. So you really need to get that mind-muscle connection. You've got 3. Turn the knee down. Try to keep this right side of your waist active and keep the back active. Opening up that knee towards the ceiling. Can you flex your left toes to your knee? You've got 2 more. Don't let the left foot move much at all. It stays pretty still in space. Squeeze the bum as you open up. Try not to let the top hip fall back. You've got final 1. Okay, now hold the knee open in that little clam, And then I want you to lengthen the left leg down, straight, heel is under bum. And I want you to turn your toes, or sorry, keep your toes flexing back to the knee. Okay, so leg is roughly at hip height, not too much higher, definitely no lower. And I want you to just relax again down on that right arm. All that we're gonna do is point the left toes and draw the leg all the way in front of the hip if you can. Your hamstring will tell you where to stop. Flex your toes to your knee, push the heel under the bum. Now, what I don't want you to do is move through your spine. So hold the left hand on the hip. Toes point, draw the left leg forward, hold it before you move your spine. Exhale, flex the toes to the knee, push the heel under the bum. Now, again, we need to imagine, or we need to create more tension here. So let's start to imagine we're moving this left leg through wet cement. So it is heavy, it is sticky, it is active. I want you to really make your muscles work. We've got final few seconds here. Left leg has been working for a little while now. First thing it's done, so we're gonna hopefully feel the outside of this left butt cheek and the back of the glute, but we've got a little bit more life left in it yet. So this is really just important to strengthen and keep active and keep strong through the glutes, which we will probably, most likely, lose quite a bit of strength in during pregnancy. So really key that we keep using them. Okay, now next one, we're gonna sweep the legs slowly back through that wet cement, holding the heel under the bum. Turn your toes to the floor. So my heel is up, my calf is shining up, my hamstring is always shining up. And I'm just going to lift and lower the leg an inch up and down. Try to make sure that I'm lifted through the right side of my waist. Final 2 little pulses. Okay, now holding the leg at hip height, draw the leg in front of the hip. Hold it, maybe not all the way in front of the hip. Tap the toe to the floor, lift the heel up. Still turning the toes down to the floor. Tap the toes, lift. Now we don't rest the toes on the floor, just tap and lift. Give me final 2. Really slow, no momentum. Nice and high with that lift. Final 1. We're going to hold the leg up as high as you can. Don't just go into a stretch. Hold it where you feel that little bite point. Turn the toes down, turn the knee down, and just stay there for 5. Pull that left hip socket back. Try to squeeze the quad, the glute, active through the calf for 3, for 2, and then bend that knee and let it rest down. Give the bum a little whack. Okay, from there, just come onto your right forearm for me. So right forearm comes down. You've got shoulder over elbow. And then I just want you to, well, options here. So if you are feeling good, maybe earlier on in the pregnancy or just feeling good generally, and the shoulder feels stable, we're going to go into side plank, and you can do a full side plank. In other words, we're going to straighten out both legs. I would go left foot in front of right, and I would just hold it up in that full side plank. For me, the shoulder doesn't love that. So what I'm going to do is bring my legs into a bend. I'm going to have my feet under my hips, my knees in front, and I'm going to have always, no matter what version I'm doing, elbow over, elbow under shoulder. Okay, now, left arm is going to come up to the ceiling. I want you to plug this right shoulder blade down your back so it feels like you're squeezing juice out of an orange under that right armpit. And then open your chest, ribs pull in gently, back is nice and long, and we're gonna lift the hips. So if we are in the full or the half version, does not matter. Lift the hips up and find a comfortable position. So squeeze your shoulder blades slightly back and together, juice that orange under the right armpit and look ahead. Just hold it and start to breathe. In through the nose, belly fill. And then exhale, belly empties. And again, breathe in and breathe out. Goes without saying, take your rest when you need to. The reason I'm doing the half version of the side plank is because that shoulder, again, we've got relaxin pumping through the body. The joints are less stable. So I do not want to compromise my shoulder and do a dodgy side plank just to get a bit more work through the oblique. So I want to push down through the mat, pull that right shoulder back and squeeze that orange. Okay, have a little rest of the hips down. So if you're in that full side plank, you probably would have rested before then. Your body is holding more weight, carrying more weight. So you're a lot heavier for that shoulder than your body is used to in side planks. Let's try that again. Holding it up, maybe just hold it up and just remembering that staying here is tough enough. Maybe we thread the left arm under the right side of our waist and then inhale. Open up. You've got 3. Exhale, thread the arm under, lift the right side slightly. Inhale, open up. Final 2. Now I want you to really activate through that right shoulder. Feel it work. Inhale, open. Final 1. Whew. It's very, very heavy on that shoulder. Hold it up. Squeeze the shoulder blades back in together. Squeeze the bum. 3, 2, relax. Lovely. Okay, come into a child's pose, guys. Just, or whatever feels good, but toes touch, knees wide. See if you can walk your hands forward and sink your hips back. Okay. Now what I'm going to get you to do is walk your hands to the left hand side of your mat so that our right side body is stretching. I'm going to go right hand under left, sink my right butt cheek down towards my right heel, and stretch my right fingertips further away from my right hip. Breathe into the right side of the ribs, the armpit, the body. Really focus on that right hand side. Exhale, sink down and back. Lengthen through the whole right side. Do that once more. Inhale. Exhale, reach the fingers away from the hip on that right side. Lovely. Okay. Coming down, hands and knees. We are going to tuck the toes, push the heels to the floor, and walk your hands back to your toes until you're in a fold. Take a second there. Breathe in, let your head fall. And then breathe out. Let's roll ourselves slowly up to stand, rebuilding that spine. Okay. Always remember, guys, when you go from that fold to up, you might be a little bit lightheaded and dizzy. Take your time. Have a drink, which I'm going to do, and then this is the part we need a wall ideally or a chair. So what we're going to do is a little bit of almost bar inspired mobility through the ankles, a little bit of leg work. So wall, I want you to face your wall, and I want you to have your hands roughly just lower than the shoulders. And I want you to have your arms extended long there. Your feet are back under your hips. And then I'm just going to get you to stick your bum back, soften your elbows, and almost lean towards the wall slightly. So from the side, I'm like this. I'm in a hinged position, almost like I'm doing an RDL. I'm keeping my hands on the wall lightly, and I am sticking my bum back. My knees have a soft bend, but the wall is just there for support. Equally, you could do it without the wall if we're nice and balanced. So what I want you to then do is in that hinged position, bum back, weight in the feet, not in the hands predominantly. I want you just to start to lift up onto your, not your tippy toes, but the ball of your foot. So not super high, just beneath that max range. And then inhale, set the heels down. And again, exhale, lift the heels up. Inhale, set the heels down. Okay, I'm going to do this side on so you can see me. Breathing out, lifting up, breathing into lower. Now, just move through the ankles, that's all we're really doing. However, I don't want you to start to let your belly pull your spine into extension. So active back, straight down, tailbone away from the crown of the head. Start to imagine that you've got a piece of string attached to the crown of your head and your tailbone. And those two little ends of the string are being pulled away. They're long and they're lengthened. Okay, I'm holding my imaginary wall, lifting my heels up and lowering down. When you've got the wall, it is a light grip of the wall. So it's only really there so that we don't need to worry about balance. Now, hold your heels up on this next one. Remember, the knees are always bent. I want you to wrap your knees out. 3, 2, 1, and then lower the heels down. Okay, lift your heels up about 3/4 of the way. Wrap your knees, thighs out. 3, 2, 1. Lower the heels. Okay, lift the heels up. Wrap the thighs out. And then lower the heels down. Okay, long spine. Heels are up. Also, you can do this without the wall if you want a bit more of a challenge in terms of balance. If you know you're sort of roughly stable enough in the ankles, you're not going to fall and count too much, and it's not going to take away from the point of the exercise, then definitely try this without the wall. It is hard. We're going to go last 2. Lift, out, 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 lower. Try not to rush like I'm doing. Final one. Lift the heels. Okay, I want you to wrap the thighs out for 3, 2, 1. Okay, thighs are parallel. Now pulse the hips up and down. You might need the wall for this. Pulse the hips, the heels are lifted. I'm still leaning my bum back and my body forward for 3, 4, 2, hold on the 1, hips a little bit lower. I'm just going to keep those heels high. Okay, and maybe we can hover the hands off the wall and we're going to just hold it for 5. Feel the calves, the quads, the glutes for 3, holding it for 2, ankles working hard for 1, and stand. Lovely. Give the legs a little wiggle. Okay, I'm going to have a little shuffle back to the back of my mat. Have a drink, do whatever you need to do. We're going to roll all the way down through the spine when you are ready. We're going to walk out, lower the knees, and we're going to lie onto our left side. So, left side, I'm lying on my left armpit or my left elbow, armpit, and I'm coming down into a right angle through the legs. So, shins running parallel with the front edge of the mat, knees a few inches beneath the hips, so we're not compromising at the hip socket. Right hand on top of the right hip. Let your head fully rest, let your arm go fully long. Active in the left side of your body. Hover your right knee, flex your right toes, moving that leg through wet cement. Let's open into that clam. Knee and toes shining 45 degrees up, and then inhale, lower to hip height. Now, breathing out, opening up. You want to get to a stage where you're imagining there's an imaginary wall here that does not let your leg go higher. So it's not about, can I get my knee behind me? No. You want to keep your back, your spine against this imaginary wall and just move through the hip socket. So really focus on that ball and socket joint, that thigh bone rolling through the hip socket as we open slowly up and then slowly down. Okay. Now what I want you to make sure you're doing is looking ahead once you know that you've had a little look at your leg and you know it's doing the right thing. And then we are active. So I want you to be active in the underneath side of your left waist. I want you to be active through the core, not squeezing on for dear life, but just conscious that we're not relaxing and dumping. And then I really, really, really want you to focus on that imagining that we're moving through wet cement with that right leg. So really important we're active. We're flexing our toes back. We're holding that right leg constantly up, so it's never relaxing down on our left thigh. You've only got 3 more here. Try to relax your left hand and your left armpit. Squeezing at the top, holding for a few beats. Slower you go here, the better. Okay, now holding this one up, your foot stays still in space. We're going to spin our right knee down towards our left knee. Probably won't touch, doesn't need to. And then breathe out, turn your right knee up to the ceiling. Okay, breathing in, spin the right knee down towards the left knee. That right foot stays high. I'm flexing it, I'm holding it still. Exhale, open. So there's no movement through my spine, just moving the thigh bone through that little hip socket. And we're going to go for a few more. Keep that right foot as still as you can. Really make that right thigh feel heavy as you spin it down and spin it back up. After that standing work, you probably will feel this glute a little bit quicker than the first side. We've got to even it out, so we're going to go for just the same amount of time. You got final 2. Turn the knee down, foot stays high. Don't relax the left side of your waist. Exhale, spin that knee up. Okay, really important to work on this internal rotation, knee coming down, exhale, spin the knee up. Okay, final 1. Don't know if I've got it in me. We're gonna open the knee up, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Okay, lengthen the leg, do not relax it, hold it at hip height. Toes or leg is in parallel, but the toes are flexing to the knee. I want you to pull your right hip bone away from your right armpit, lengthen both sides of the waist, active in the underneath belly. Point the right toes. Keep a softness in the knee. We're going to draw the leg in front of the hip. Do not let your hips collapse forward and lie on the mat. Keep your right hip stacked. Flex your toes to your knee. Push the heel under the bum. So I'm moving through that wet cement. Teeny softness in the back of my right knee. Point the toe, drag the legs forward. Flex the toes to your knee. Push the heel back. Okay, you've got only a few more. Keep lengthening that right hip bone down away from your right armpit. Keep moving that leg through wet cement. Okay, so as I draw my leg forward, I am looking at my right hip for a second, and it does not move. It does not come forward with my toes, with my leg. It stays still. Okay, we're gonna go for 3. You can relax the underneath leg, although I find that hard to do. Breathing out, sweeping back. Last few, just keeping that nice active hold of the right leg up so it's never flailing below hip height. Okay, final one. Draw the leg forward. It's a nice release after that clam. Sweep the heel back, hold the heel under the bum, the leg under the bum. Turn the toes down to the floor. The knee spins down to the floor as well, and we just little teeny pulse here up and down for 3. Just get used to the motion. 2, 1. Keep the toe turning down, the whole leg turning down. Sweep the leg about halfway forward, and we tap the toes to the floor. Lift. Now, do not let this top hip get pulled forward. We're going to go for 3. Never let the toes rest on the floor. Open your chest up. We're going to go for 2. Nearly there. Stay with it. Feel the outside of that right glute working. Hopefully. Final one. Hold the leg up. Turn your toes down more. Turn your thigh down more. And hold for 5. Pull that hip socket back. Do not let it roll forward for 3. Squeeze the leg. 2. And relax down. Okay. Come straight onto your left forearm. We are into our side plank. So, option 1, full version. I go right foot forward, left foot back. If you're going for that full long leg version of a side plank, I'm going to go knees bent, feet sort of under my bum, legs in a bit of a right angle. And then I've got wherever I am, really importantly, shoulder above elbow on that left side. Okay, right arm up, squeeze your shoulder blades, open your chest, let's lift, exhale, open. If you're on your knees, you might want to, as you lift up, you might feel sort of bent. You might want to push your knees further down and open your chest, push your chest through a bit more, if that feels better. Listen to your body and sort of see what feels good. Now, we are juicing a big orange under our left armpit. That is the most important thing we're going to do here. So pull your shoulder blade down your spine. Squeeze juice out of that lemon or orange and open that right arm up. Squeeze your shoulder blades. We're just breathing. Inhale, belly fills. Exhale. Gently hug the baby in. Breathing in. Chest open. Breathe out. Final few breaths here. Let's lift the hips an inch higher if they're sinking down. Resting when you need to. We're all gonna rest for a second. Okay, roll that shoulder out. Remembering, relax and pumping through the body. It's more lax, it's less stable. This will work harder. So really make sure we don't come into this collapse compromise position. We're pulling it down. We're opening the chest. We're gonna lift up again. Okay. If that felt good, we're going to thread that right arm under the left side. Exhale. Inhale, open up. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Only 3 more. Hold it still. Rest when you need to. Do whatever you need to do. Inhale. Open up. Nearly there. Exhale. Lift the left side of that body. Glutes working as well. Inhale to open. Final one. Threading under. Hold that right arm up. We're going to squeeze the shoulder blades and hold. Would you believe it's your last bit of work? Then we're going into a stretch. Let's hold that side plank for 3. Lift the hips up, open the chest. 2, and release. Well done. Okay, come into that child's pose, guys, for me. Just quickly, toes touch, knees open, sink the hips down, reach the hands forward. Bring your left hand over to the right hand side of your mat, underneath the right hand, and then I'm pushing my left butt cheek down to my left heel. Feel like my hands are pressing the base of your back down towards your heels gently. As I breathe in, I'm stretching my left fingertips away from my left hip bone, and as I breathe out, I'm reaching those 2 points even further. Let your head relax. Breathe in. Fingertips pull away from the left hip, and then breathing out through that left side of your rib cage. Sinking down. Lovely. And then just walk your hands back to center. Hold that child's pose for a second. Just lift your hips up a little bit. Maybe the knees stay wide, feet stay together, or maybe you part your feet a little bit and have your legs just wider than hips. We're going to try to walk the hands slightly forward. And then just sink your bum, or reach your tailbone, up to the ceiling. So it's almost like that cat part of a cat-cow. Chest comes down to the floor. Maybe forehead is on the floor. And you're just letting your spine extend. So you're letting your bum stick up. You're letting your ribs open. You're letting your belly just relax. Really nice release through the shoulders. Take a breath in. Breathing out, let everything sink. Armpits towards the floor. One more. Breathe in. Breathe out. Lovely. And just lift your head, walk your hands back. We're going to sit onto our butt cheeks, a little bit of mobility to finish. So just sit onto your bum for me, and I want you to have your feet just the width of your mat, or maybe slightly wider. And then I'm going to slightly lean an inch back and pop my hands on the floor. So I'm going to have my fingers turning out, or my hands turning out. And then with those knees, just let both knees fall over to the left. And I want you to try to bring your right knee to the floor and your left knee somewhere towards the floor. And then roll the knees to the other side. You sort of do a little bum shuffle with this one. Try not to wriggle down your mat too much. Left knee pushes down to the floor. Right knee pushes towards the floor. It doesn't matter if they're not there, but that is the eventual goal. Breathing in. One more each side, just like that. Letting the knees fall to the left. Hold, push the right knee down to the floor. That internal rotation through the right hip, external through the left here, and then switch once more. Left knee pressing down through that internal rotation of the hip, really important. Right knee pushes down, chest still open. Lovely. Okay, and then from here, just keep on your bum, keep your hands back where they are. I want you to bring your feet, soles of your feet together, and your knees flop open. Let your knees flop as wide as they want to just go. And then I want you to actively make sure as well the chest doesn't sink. We're opening the chest up, squeeze your shoulder blades together. Then I want you to feel like you're pushing the outside of your thighs down to the floor. And I want you to squeeze your bum, squeeze the bum. And then just relax, butt cheeks soften, knees flop. So push the thighs actively down, squeeze the bum, squeeze. Feel the hips open, push the thighs down, and then relax the butt cheeks. Okay, once more. Push the thighs down to the mat, squeeze the bum, and then relax. Lovely. Okay, from there, just let those legs go long. Sit up nice and tall. You can have your legs a little bit open for me. And if you want to take them a little bit wider, do that. If you're happy, just mat width, do that. Start to breathe in. Let your shoulders roll back and down. Straighten out your spine for me so you're sitting up nice and tall. Inhale, shoulders roll back and down. Exhale. Okay. And then from there, just let your hands rest, let your arms rest just by your side. So by the side of your hips. I'm going to bring my right ear towards my right shoulder. And as I do that, try not to round the head forward. Try to keep your body like you're in between two planes of glass. So you're still looking forward, but your right ear comes to your right shoulder. Left arm, reach it down towards the floor, fingertips reaching towards the ground. Feel the left side of your neck gently stretch. Breathe in. As you breathe out, stretch your fingers away from your ear. And then release, head back to center. Left hand relaxes, left ear towards left shoulder. Reach your right fingertips away from you down towards the floor. Breathe in. As I breathe out, stretch fingers away from ear. Feel the stretch in the right side of your neck once more. Big exhale. And then just give your head a whole roll in a big circle. Back to the side, chin to chest. Other side, and then reverse. Letting your neck go fully soft, head fully heavy. And then just sitting up nice and tall, give the shoulders a roll. And well done, well done. So really hard, always simple looking things can always be the hardest. Really, really well done. See you soon.